Hi old school fans, I'm Dan, the old school conditioning man. This is old school conditioning training and welcome to old school conditioning training's the Bartitsu project. Right, if I've got a big stick in my hand, that means one thing: we're back to doing more of the French stick fighting martial art, the Canne, under the tutelage of Professor Joseph Chalmont. Right, what are we doing today? This is what we're doing today. We are starting the exercise of evolutions, putting all the head and face cuts together, forward and retreating in continual motion. Not only doing single face and head cuts, but single face cuts forward and retreating in both tier and fourth guards, double and triple face cuts, right? This is going to be a goodie, this one, all right, okay, and this will prepare us for the four faces of the cane that comes up next after we get quite a bit more practice. So let's stop talking about it and let's get on with training it. Right, so just recapping what we did in an earlier video when we learned the basic strikes. Okay, we're going to start off with forward and retreating face cuts, starting in tierce guard. Okay, all right, so we're going to step forward with our left leg, cut through and end up in fourth guard. There, one, all right, and then cut through again, there, and then cut through again, all right, ending in fourth. Now we're going backwards, all right, ending in tierce, fourth, and back to where we started in tierce. Okay. Right, now that's forward and retreating, starting in tierce guard. So let's have a look at forward and retreating in fourth guard. All right, so right, let's have a look. It goes a little bit more at speed. We've got a little bit more room outside. Okay, that was exercise one. Okay, right, so you've seen both indoors and outdoors shows where we can do it with a little bit more room than I've got in here, and it shows it a little bit more fluid in both tierce and fourth guards, both forward and retreating. So we're going to go on to exercise two now, which is the double face cut. Okay, all right, so start off in tierce again. All right. But the first cut is delivered without advancing, although we are doing this forward and retreating. So the first one is a stationary cut to the face, delivered without full force. It goes all the way around, comes back, and then step through, delivering with full force. Okay, so we end up in fourth guard. All right, the next one, cut through, all right, and then bang with full force. Okay, now we're retreating. All right, so we cut through, and then there, and there, all right, there and there, all right, and we're now nicely back into fourth guard. All right, so 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, and that takes us back into fourth guard. Now, the double strike, it doesn't stop, okay? And it's the second strike where you move forward that's delivered with full force. Now, let's go and have a look at this outside where it gives us a little bit more room and we can show it with a little bit more fluidity, both in tierce and fourth guards, advancing and retreating. Let's try the double face cut, forward and retreating from fourth guard. Right, that was exercises 1 and 2 done indoors and outdoors. So that was face cuts, forward and retreating in both tierce and fourth guard, and double face cuts, forward and retreating in both tierce and fourth guard. So exercise 3, all right, and this is the third and final exercises of evolutions before going on to the 4 faces of the cane. All right, and this will be the triple face cut. Okay, so as with the first face cut, we're not advancing, but this time we're doing 2 before we advance. Okay, so again, we'll start off in our tierce guard. Okay, so we go 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Back into tierce. So we're going to revert. We're going to be retreating now. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, and back to tierce guard where we started. Okay, right. So now let's have a look at that in fourth guard. Okay, all right. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, now retreating. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There. All right, let's go and have a look at this outside where it gives us a little bit more room, like we said before, and we can do it a little bit more fluidly because I haven't got to worry about walls and ceilings. Okay, right. Exercise 3, triple face cut from tierce guard, forward and retreating. Right, now let's try it. Triple cut, forward and retreating from fourth guard. Right, so that was exercises 1, 2, and 3 of exercises of evolution. Right, okay, from single face cuts in both guards, forward and retreating, double face cut and triple face cut, forward and retreating in both guards. Now, that should be the end of the first exercises before we get on to the 4 faces where you learn to change left and right directions if you're fighting opponents, both not just in front of you, but to the left and right and behind you. But that'll come a little bit down the line after we've got a little bit more practice. But what I've decided to do is put in an extra exercise, okay, and that's head and face cuts while advancing, okay, because it will help us just get a little bit more practice putting the head and face cuts together while forward and retreating before we get onto the four faces, right? So We'll just run through it quickly in here because I can't do them quickly in here because I've got a low ceiling. So I'll just quickly run through it and then we'll look at it outside where we've got more room and I ain't got to worry about hitting ceilings and smashing the light down. Okay, so we'll start right now. You have to start off in tierce guard, okay? Because the overhead cut is the head cut is always delivered from tierce guard, okay? So whether you're going to start with a face cut, which brings us through to fourth guard, so then you need to make another face cut, okay? To get you back to tierce, okay? Before making the head cut, okay? But what we'll do is we'll start off with a head cut. Alright, so we're in tierce guard, because like we said, the head cut is always thrown from tierce, and like we've said before, the cane is brought straight down between our shoulder blades with our right arm facing forwards, okay? So, start off in tierce, okay? Alright, the cane comes back, okay, and we're going to deliver the overhead cut and step forward with our left leg, alright, bang, there, okay? And then we need to do a takeaway, alright, to bring us back into fourth guard and then cut through back into tierce, okay? Alright, and then what we're going to do now, we're going to do a head cut whilst reversing, retreating, okay? So I'm going to bring the cane up and then I'm going to step back with my right foot. There, ended up in fourth, head cut back to tierce, alright, and then advancing, alright, take away back to fourth, there, alright, and then stepping back, alright, there, 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 alright. Okay, right, so let's go and have a look at that outside where I've got more room and I can do it a little bit faster. It's not going to go massively faster because I've only just really started learning this one and it is quite difficult. It's more difficult than it looks. So there's still some more face and head cuts, forward and retreating, starting in tierce guard. And also, I just want to talk a little bit about, although I'm doing Bartitsu, and cane is a big part of Bartitsu, it's not the be-all and end-all, but it is the main weaponised art of Bartitsu. But I should be using Pierre Vigny's style, okay, but I'm not. I'm using Joseph Charmant. So I just want to spend a couple of minutes saying why I've decided to do this. I am going to be going on to doing Pierre Vigny's, but because I have no cane experience, I've looked at a couple of books, and Vigny didn't write anything down. It was passed on by people he taught, and no one really wrote anything down. So you've had to go through Pearson's manuals from when Edward William Barton-Wright was talking and demonstrating in the picturized magazine of Pearson's of 1901, of which I have a copy, and also a fine book written by Gary Owen, okay? But although it is an excellent book, okay, I found it a little bit difficult to follow. That's no fault of the author, that's just mine. So I found Charmant's because I'd also got his books for Savat, which is also another massive part of Bartitsu because it's the kickboxing style mixed in with English boxing. So I saw Charmant's cane manual, so I thought, well, the books are quite easy to follow, they're well set out, all right, so I'll give that a go. I found the Charmant one, the Charmant cane manual, very well set out and quite easy to follow, even though it's written in 1901 and it's a translation done by Matthew Lynch, who's done an excellent job. But also I found, because I use a much heavier stick than cane than what Vinny's style does, they use a much more whippy, bendy cane. Okay, I've got a solid oak cane, and it is quite heavy. But also I find Charlemont's is a bit simpler. Okay, all right, there's less cuts and attacks, so it's a little bit easier for someone with no experience to pick it up. So I thought I'd use this as a grounding before I really delve into Gary Owen's great book, Bartitsu, The Walking Stick Method of Self-Defense. All right, because Vinny's is a lot more complicated. But also Charlemont's Le Cane, I think, is much more powerful. Okay. And you can see by these head and face cuts with a heavy stick. They're man's. One strike is a man stopping strike. Okay, where with the lighter canes, you're going to have to hit someone several times. But someone gets whacked around a sward with this. Not only they ain't going to know about it. They're just going to get knocked straight out. And even more, some considerable damage to the head. Is going to be done. Arms are going to get broken. Legs are going to get broken. All right. So, and it also, because I'm a big guy, okay, it suits my frame, I feel. Okay. But that's not to say that I won't be venturing into Vinny's Le Cane, because that's the Le Cane system of Bartitsu. But that'll come at a later date. Right. So that is all 3 exercises and a Bakshi one that I've chucked in for you. Okay, right. So I hope you've enjoyed the video as much as I've enjoyed making it. Okay, if you have, remember guys, don't be no crazy fool. Hit that subscribe button and follow down at Old School. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.